16 WAPT News Live at 5 starts now.
Fear inside a bank after a woman says she has a bomb strapped to her. Why investigators think she's a victim, not a robbery suspect. Plus, a man washing cars gets hit during a drive-by shooting. Witnesses are talking to us.
I'm Nicole Killian in Washington, where the president pays his respects to those killed in Libya this week as violence intensifies in the region. The latest coming up.
Now, your weather first.
Good evening. Ethan Houston in for David. Not a bad night out there. Plenty of sunshine on our downtown Cap Towers Skycam. Should be a great night for football. Quick look of Live Storm Shield 16. Not much action in Mississippi, so dry weather in store. Over now to the maps. Temperatures will drop down from the mid-80s down into the 70s. Yes, it will be a sticky night, so drive for high school football. What about those college games and the weekend ahead? Details on that coming up.
All right, Ethan, thank you so much. This is new at 5. A woman claims 2 men kidnapped her, then sent her into a bank wearing a bomb. I'm Stephanie Maxwell.
And I'm Darren Gito. Stephanie, this case shut down a big part of Canton today. Let me show you where it all happened this morning in Canton. If we can get to the map, it actually happened on P Street at the Trustmark Bank right there in Canton. New at 5, 16 WAPT's Tammy Eswick explains how police think this whole thing developed.
They think the woman that brought a bomb into the Canton Trustmark Bank is a victim.
The lady is safe, and the bomb has been exploded.
But hours earlier, authorities would only speak to Olivia Abram from a distance. Look closely at the black straps across her shoulders in this video. Detectives say that's the backpack that she told bank tellers had a bomb inside.
A young lady was accosted at some point and had a bomb tied around her waist.
Abram claims 2 men attacked her at a gas station, then took her to the Trustmark Bank to rob it. Canton police say Abram told them the men threatened to hurt her children if she didn't.
Ladies, can you tell us what happened inside?
Abram's mother spoke to us about the ordeal.
Somebody got my daughter from Spur and took her out here to bring her to this bank, and she had a bomb or something strapped on.
Why would she go in there with something strapped to her?
They made her go in there.
During the standoff, police blocked roads and forced businesses nearby to shut down.
You heard bomb. What did you think?
I just got paranoid. Didn't believe it because Canton, a small town of Canton, a bomb, not here.
This standoff ended when police took Abrams out of the back of this bank. But hours later, investigators were still on the scene.
Police say now they're searching for those 2 men Abrams says kidnapped her.
You hear and see the news all the time when something is Jackson, but once it hit home, it's different.
In Canton, Tammy Eswick, 16 WAPT News.
All right, one more look now at how this all started this morning in Canton. The FBI is investigating after the Canton police chief says 2 men kidnapped a woman, then forced her to walk into the Trustmark Bank wearing what she thought was a bomb in a backpack. Witnesses say the woman with the bomb, Olivia Abram, walked into the P Street Bank and told the tellers to call the police. Tonight, police say they consider Abram to be a victim in all this. The FBI and ATF are taking over this investigation. They're still looking for the 2 men she described. We've got more pictures and video from this story. All you have to do is go to WAPT.com. Another huge developing story we are following tonight is a school bus crash that happened in Scott County this afternoon. We've got some new video into our newsroom. 4 ambulances have been rushed to the scene, and we know that 3 students have been taken to an area hospital. Also, a driver and a passenger of the vehicle that was involved in this crash have been airlifted to a hospital. No word on the rest of the injuries at this time. Now, this wreck happened on Highway 35 between Forest and Walnut Grove, just off of the corner of Coleman Road. Several school leaders are now on the scene. Of course, stay with 16 WAPT News for the very latest information on this school bus crash. A drive-by shooting today sent a mobile car wash owner to the hospital. Yeah, he was just doing his job. It happened around noon on Memphis Street. Police say a gunman drove by and opened fire. Friends of the victim say he was just minding his own business when the gunman started shooting.
Oh, this shouldn't be going on. Should never happen. Especially him, man. He don't do nothing like that. Whatever they said went wrong that he done, that boy ain't did that.
Police are looking for clues in this case. No word yet on any suspects at this time. Well, Clinton police are looking for the man who pulled off a heist at the Walmart this morning in Clinton. Yeah, it happened at that store on Highway 80 just before 6 o'clock this morning. Police say a man came into the store and pretended to buy something. When the cashier opened the register, the man grabbed some money from the drawer and then just ran out of the place. No one was hurt, but customers we talked with today say they try to do their shopping during daylight hours because they feel safer.
Do you worry in those odd hours about safety with there being less people around?
Well, like in the morning hours, I do. I try not to come like way, too late or too early.
No arrests have been made. If you can help police with either of these cases, call Crime Stoppers at 601-355-TIPS. All right, Stephanie is standing by in the studio with some big news from City Hall.
Well, Darren, today the Jackson City Council adopted a $350.7 million budget, but JPS says it did not get a fair share. School leaders say the budget the city approved for the school district is $2.7 million less than what the Board of Trustees requested. The mayor says the city has provided the necessary funds.
And that's why we had a very in-depth discussion with the school district as to the amount of money that they were requesting. And whether or not the $88 million really was what was needed versus the $86 million. And it turns out that the $88 million was not properly noticed according to our legal counsel, and therefore we can only consider the $86 million.
The district is threatening legal action if the city does not give JPS that money. No representatives from JPS were at today's meeting. Mayor Johnson says the budget for the 2012-2013 fiscal year does not include a tax increase, layoffs, or furloughs. Test scores show Mississippi students are improving in the classroom. More school districts achieved higher grades in the first year of Mississippi's new school rating system, thanks to increased test scores and the suspension of graduation rate requirements for higher scoring districts. In 2011, only 32 of the state's 152 districts earned what are now counted as A's and B's. This year, 50 districts did it. 57 districts got D's and F's. The bodies of 4 Americans killed in the attack on the U.S. compound in Libya are in the U.S.
They had a mission, and they believed in it. They knew the danger, and they accepted it. They didn't simply embrace the American ideal, they lived it.
President Obama paid tribute to them in a transfer of remains ceremony in a hangar at Andrews Air Force Base. He was joined by Vice President Joe Biden and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Meanwhile, more protests have flared up around the world, and some have been deadly. 16 WAPT's Nicole Killian is live in Washington with that part of the story. Nicole.
Yeah, well, Stephanie, the president also addressing that violence during that ceremony where he honored the memories of the victims of that Libyan attack and vowed justice. The president met with the families of the victims, honoring their memories and vowing justice in an emotional ceremony. It was a solemn homecoming as the caskets of Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 Americans were finally carried home.
Today, we bring home 4 Americans who gave their lives for our country and our values.
The transfer ceremony at Joint Base Andrews took place days after the group was killed in an attack on the U.S. consulate in the Libyan city of Benghazi.
They didn't simply embrace the American ideal, they lived it. They embodied it.
The president and Secretary of State were stoic but stalwart in their condemnation of an anti-Muslim film that triggered more deadly demonstrations overseas in more than a dozen countries, from Tunisia to Israel.
That's the concern, how quickly this thing spiraled out of control.
On Capitol Hill, lawmakers emerged from a closed-door intelligence briefing no closer to a motive in Libya.
Whether there was a spontaneous demonstration that they try to take advantage of. Again, all this is still very fluid.
But the White House pushed back on reports that it failed to act on any kind of warning.
We were not aware of any actionable intelligence indicating that an attack on the U.S. mission in Benghazi was planned or imminent.
And that was Nicole Killian reporting. Another group of Marines has been sent to Yemen to reinforce security there after demonstrators stormed the U.S. Embassy yesterday and today. A separate team was also sent to Libya earlier this week. New tonight, bomb threat shut down 2 universities today. The University of Texas received a call at 8:30 this morning. The caller claimed he was with Al-Qaeda and he placed bombs all over the 50,000 student campus in Austin. After an evacuation, security teams say they didn't find anything there. And a bomb threat was called in about the same time to North Dakota State University. 20,000 people were forced to evacuate in Fargo. The campus was cleared and classes resumed this afternoon. The FBI says it's trying to determine if those 2 threats are related. Let's move to week 5 of high school football. A Louisiana school is making the trip to Central Mississippi for a matchup with a powerhouse. 16 WAPT sports reporter Ray Coleman is live with a preview of tonight's Sonic Game of the Week. Ray.
Stephanie, thank you so much. Tonight, the home team Jaguars will host West Monroe High School out of Louisiana. We'll get to that matchup in a little while, but first, take a look behind me here. We have plenty of construction going on here at MC, including a new stadium ramp, new dressing rooms for the teams, and yes, sir, soon a state-of-the-art Jumbotron with an HD screen. Now, earlier this week, I talked to head football coach Bobby Hall about the improvements to the facilities.
With all this, it's going to really be a nice place. We're very proud and certainly proud of the help that our school board and Dr. McGehee have given us to help us make us the way we are.
Now, Coach Hall told me that the Jumbotron should be up and running next week for the annual rivalry game with the Clinton Arrows. We definitely look forward to seeing that. But coming up a little later, tonight at 6, you'll hear more from the head football coach and the Jaguar players on tonight's matchup versus West Monroe High School. Live at Madison Central, Ray Coleman, 16 WAPT Sports.
Some nice digs. All right. Thanks so much, Ray. Let's turn to Ethan now. Talk about that football forecast for us.
Yeah, it should be great for the high school games tonight. Temperatures will be holding in the 80s, weather nice and dry. One of the places that will be wet for some football will be in Houston. Jackson State heads over to take on Texas Southern. Temperatures will be in the 80s with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. So for JSU, could see some showers. What about the other college football teams? We'll talk about that and show your weekend forecast after the break.
And another British royal and another nude picture making worldwide headlines. Why the Duchess Kate is furious tonight. And finally, a sign of a deal in the Chicago teacher strike. What may be on the table tonight? You're watching 16 WAPT Live at 5.
The Associated Press Best Newscast in Mississippi. And an Emmy Award for Best Newscast in the Southeast region. This is 16 WAPT News.